Lord of the Rings Gollum is due out in 2021 for PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X. Great.
And that's the first sentence of the stream. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Kira. I hope you're doing well. Everybody just look forward to the new PlayStation 3 game about Gollum.
I mean, apparently it's out already.
No,
So
it's
due in
new.
2021.
Wait, 2021?
Yes,
Are you
that's what
serious?
it said.
For PS3?
PS5.
Oh, PS5. Oh, right. I thought you said PS3. I was like, 2021 PS3? What?
No. Yeah, PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X.
Why did they make a Gollum game?
I don't know. I've never heard of this.
Me neither.
Might be a good reason, to be fair.
Yeah.
Maybe I have no idea.
Hi, welcome to a stream. We don't know what we're doing.
No.
Something about clothes and Lord of the Rings. This is about as far as we
Yes.
got.
Yeah.
I'm gonna rant about the fucking screenshot again for 2.5 hours, and I don't know what the arrest is doing.
It's been way too long playing Bioshock Infinite last night. I need to catch up with that because I've only gotten like a minute further than the draw through. So that's tomorrow, I guess. Tomorrow evening. This Gollum game is news to you. Yeah. I mean, will it be better or worse than the new show? I don't know.
I mean, at least Gollum actually kind of looks like Gollum. I still don't know what that Elrond is.
Anyway, let's hop over here. We have friends. We have and my axe. That's about as. That's it.
Yes.
Also, there's a new button here which just says set as my avatar, and I'm going to click it and see what happens. Nothing happened. Okay, cool.
Oh, I'm Christy again. I was anonymous for a second.
It was Christy all along.
It's always Christy.
You're further than the draw through. How dare you?
You better get on it.
Spoilers for the next part of the draw through. I've just pushed a piano.
Okay. I hope you enjoyed that.
Yes, that will be probably within the first 5 minutes of the next draw through stream. Yeah. You'll also be pleased to know that basically that whole subplot about like, you know, racism and all that sort of thing, that's just us done now. The game just stops talking about it for the rest of the game. So
Sure.
anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We're not here to talk about badly paced games. We're here to talk about good films. And badly shot promos for. Oh blimey! That's the picture. That's the weird Gollum.
The weirdest part is the hair to me.
Yeah.
The rest looks fine.
And
It
that's
looks
saying something.
pretty good for
It
like
looks
a.
fine.
Does it look pretty good for a? It looks all right for a PS3 game, but again, it's PS5.
I mean, I do like it, like, because it's pretty stylized, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess.
It's not like hyper realistic, and maybe
But
the hair looks better in game.
maybe you probably spend the camera spends all its time further away, so it doesn't matter. But
Yeah.
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 So what are we doing?
I don't know. I'm just gonna look at the fucking Elrond picture again.
Back to the Elrond picture.
Back to the fucking
back to the
Elrond picture
curtains.
that I hate.
Curtains or tablecloth? Place your bets.
I was thinking either
Well,
the other costume to draw, but that wouldn't really make sense.
Right,
now
here we go.
on the thing.
Annotate.
There.
We copy and paste
Dinosaur.
the Christie's modification. Was it Christie? Yes, Christi.
Yeah, Christy
Yeah.
did the dinosaurs in the background, which was very funny. Um, what do
Right.
I think is wrong with this outfit? In short, everything.
This is that bit, and then that bit, and also that bit, and then this whole area, and also that. Probably this bit as well. Less said
Um,
about that, the better.
yeah,
Uh,
exactly. It's
sorry, I made a YouTube thumbnail there.
it's just use that, like, screen cap that and use it as the default picture. Um,
um, you're right after the area with the guys who have a kind of helmets. They're my favorite. I like them. We'll get to them, and I
yeah,
won't do them
exactly.
justice.
Everything is wrong with this outfit.
Everything's wrong with this.
It's I'm going back to my main complaint, which I also said the last time, is that it's bland and it doesn't scream elfish at me. Elfish. It's not an elf. It's not an elven outfit. It's
Elf or an elven outfit.
beige, brownish clothes and a tablecloth.
Do you know what's weird about his face? And this might just be me. When I'm zoomed out, it looks like he's got a bit of a smirk. When I zoom in, he just looks annoyed.
Yeah,
I don't know
that
what's
is
going on
kind
with
of
that
weird.
expression.
Like an optical illusion.
Yeah. Peculiar.
Um, but
Yeah,
yeah,
the cape has absolutely zero decoration. Also, the same with
yeah,
the shirt. There's at best a rim. It looks like he's wearing the coat inside out. Um,
it does. It's
there
like,
are tassels. I've just noticed there are tassels here.
oh yeah,
That's something you would
there
expect
is
from
some
curtains.
tasseling going on, but other than that, it's just like it looks like it's all kind of like the same. It's definitely like all kind of the same shade of like this weird beige. Not
Hmm.
even weird beige. It's just bland beige.
Also, they've completely blown out the sky. That is pure white.
Yeah.
I just realised that.
And also, like, everything is kind of like the same texture. It's all this, like, it's either plain cloth or like this very smoothish
Yeah.
faux leather, I guess. I think that's what the tunic is made out of. I honestly can't
Oh
tell.
no, there's. I think there is actually a pattern on this. This sort of like swirly sort of. I thought it was just sort of a shimmery material, but I think it is a pattern.
Yeah, that's very awful.
It doesn't look. It looks like leopard print. It's not good. Like,
Now I cannot unsee that, and it honestly makes things worse
yeah,
instead of better.
I like the idea of a young Elrond thinking leopard print is cool.
I mean, that is very fun, but that's not what this is. Because, like, I'm all for, like, if they went, like, the very campy route, that'd be fine.
Is that
They went, like,
cauldron?
we're just gonna throw patterns at this guy until he dies, then it's great. But
Is that?
no. If that is, like, a pattern, it's, like, the faintest beige on brown pattern I've ever seen.
It's the best. The first thing you learn in art theory is make sure your colors contrast like beige on brown.
Like, beige on brown. Exactly. Just yeah, I don't this is, like because I know nothing about this series, so every, like, gripe I have with it is purely on an aesthetic level.
Yeah.
I just want to say that because I know nobody is gonna, like, actually watch this that isn't friends with me, but I did, like, try to watch, like, some trailer analysis, and then the person went immediately, like, Tolkien didn't envision people to be of color in his books, and then I was like, "Nope, that's not the issue here. I am fine with that." My gripes are purely on an aesthetic level of do the right thing with it. Make
Do
elves
it.
look like elves, regardless of skin tone or color. Make dwarves look like dwarves, regardless of anything. Just, you know?
I do remember people saying this at the time when the Lord of the Rings films came out, basically saying it's such a shame that these films came out because how can you top them? Like in this world, how can you do something better than that?
Mm.
And like they're not perfect films by any stretch of the
No.
imagination, but they get so much right from such a like. There hadn't really been a version of outside from the books, obviously. There hadn't really been an interpretation of that just nailed it so well.
Yeah,
Anywhere close, and then it's just suddenly out of nowhere, boom! Here are these films.
yeah,
Um,
it's very, like, The Lord of the Rings definitely isn't, like, a perfect series or
no,
anything, but it is, like I I watched the movies first, and then I read the books, and it was just, like, I love these movies for everything they got right. Just purely on a, like
what are you saying that you didn't want 7 or 8 Tom Bombadil songs?
no.
Yeah.
It's this really funny thing where my dad really loves Tom Bombadil, and I'm just kind of very neutral about it.
But it's Tom Bombadil. It's just so much fun to say.
It
Also,
is.
thank you, Cece, for getting Tom Bombadil correct. I
Yeah,
was not
good
expecting that.
job, Cece.
Doesn't capitalize Bombadil though, which is interesting.
Trust. But yeah, based because it's so uh, like going back to like the pure basic, it's so easy to tell the difference between like the different characters and what they are. Like, um, like if you look at the Fellowship, it's very easy to pick out like that's a dwarf, that's an elf, that's a wizard, you know? And like based on this picture, I wouldn't say like that's an elf because it isn't. It isn't enough. He has the pointy ears, but that's no.
This is that character in Oblivion who sort of follows you around being, I'm a massive fan.
It
This is
does
Elrond's
have
fan.
a very Oblivion feel about it for some reason. It's yeah, it's just like
It's got a big forehead as well now that I look at it.
um it's also just because I've also seen a picture of who apparently is supposed to be Galadriel, and I say supposed to be because I couldn't fucking tell on first glance at the picture, because it's just like warrior lady, which is not something I associate with
I,
Galadriel.
for some reason, I was sure you were going to say Wario.
Wario. It was Wario.
Sorry.
That's why I didn't think of Galadriel because it was Wario. No, but it was like this. Well, let me see if I can. If I can find. Yes. Uh, there. I guess I could also post it, but there's already been things being drawn.
Yeah,
But it's just like this kind of generic blonde woman in
yeah.
armor.
I like the chest plate. That's kind of fancy.
I,
But
the armor is great for what it is. It's cool armor. It's just like I don't look at this and think that's Galadriel.
no, Galadriel to me is sort of like ethereal,
Yeah,
and this is
exactly. Because she is an enchantress, basically. She like that's not to say she can't fight because I'm sure she can, but like
Yeah, but she shouldn't need to.
she shouldn't need to, and she shouldn't be like in this very like fighty swordswoman like armor and
Yeah,
everything.
with scruffy hair and
Yeah, it like doesn't like feel right to me that she's because it just makes her look like a generic like blonde warrior. Like you like color shift the armor a little bit and then suddenly she is like a Rohirrim, you know?
yeah.
Um I mean not even that because a Rohirrim wouldn't have that armor, I think. But it's just this very like it feels very much like they want to do that thing where they thank you for drawing this curtain, Matt.
You're welcome.
um, but it makes it feel very much like they want to be like, oh, we have a strong female character in the character of Galadriel, and clearly strong means she must fight.
Yeah.
'Cause that's the only way women can be strong, apparently.
I always got the impression Galadriel was like one of the weirdly. Haven't seen the films for a very long time. It must be said, but I always got the impression that you just don't mess with Galadriel because I don't
Yes,
even know what
exactly.
would happen. I literally don't know what would happen, and I don't want to know.
No, but that's
Like,
exactly like the vibe she has in those movies of like she's introduced by Gimli telling about how there's a witch in these woods that's like very like beautiful and charming and super dangerous and like murders people and whatever. I don't remember what he says exactly, but like and then you see Galadriel and it's like, oh, wonderful elvish woman, and you get introduced to Lothlorien and it's beautiful and enchanting and everything. And then the fucking ring bit goes more further off the ring, and it's terrifying
yeah,
because of exactly that reason. Like because she looks elegant and beautiful and kind of unassuming, but you also get like the idea of like this lady could mess me up if she wanted to. She wouldn't have to move a finger to do it.
yeah. It's like, if you mess with Legolas, you get an arrow in the face. If you
Yeah,
mess with Gimli, he's gonna chop your legs off. If you mess with Galadriel,
she
it's
is
not gonna, it's not gonna be
going
good.
to turn your insides out without lifting
Yeah.
a finger. I don't know.
Just gonna make it so that you would never existed.
Yeah.
Like, do you want to
Like
erase you from history? I don't know.
yeah, exactly. Like you cannot exactly grasp her powers, and that's what she's about. And to just like
No, braids and sword. That's it.
braids and sword is like a significant downgrade.
So far, what we've seen of this is significant downgrade. That is
Yeah.
the.
I mean, it's also just because um the original Lord of the Rings has like warrior
Ooh,
woman in the shape of Eowyn.
fighty cat.
Um and like Eowyn for the most part when she actually fights is wearing the men's armor, but even then she looks like more, you know? Like
So-
it's less showy. This feels very showy of like we're going to have a woman in armor who's gonna fight and mhm. Like I fully believe like just based looking at this picture, I know immediately that her character is like cold female character who like mu- thinks she must fight or something like that. It's
Hmm.
like this very generic character type.
if there is a scene in which somebody goes, "You can't fight, you're a woman," and then she unsheathes the sword, is like, just watch me, and then does something badass, it's like, yeah, I'm out.
Yeah, it feels exactly like that's what's going to happen. Like, based solely on this picture, like, something like that is gonna happen. Someone is gonna say she can fight, and then she proves them wrong. And, like, Eowyn did that too, but for Eowyn it was earned, and it wasn't as much as, like, you know, it was cool, and it was
Oh
new
yeah,
at the time, and or newish at the time, and, like,
the world has changed.
she had a whole arc before it and after it about, like, how, maybe dying on the battlefield is not the answer.
Yeah.
Um, but, like, that's the thing, it feels very this Galadriel feels very showy in that, like, we must have a strong female character, and female strong female character means, um, no emotions, um, general, like, staying away from anything that's deemed pretty, uh,
But she's
just
so pretty. Like that's her whole. She's the
yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
most
An
pretty.
enchantress,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but not
I
like in a
yeah.
sexual way, just sort of like, amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
Very
she is
pretty.
an enchantress and she is pretty. It's just like it's both.
It's in charting it as sort of like, I want to say awesome, but like I mean awesome, not awesome. You know what I mean? It's sort of with
Yeah,
awe.
yeah. I get what you mean. Just like this very like um uh grand, like
Yeah,
larger than life kind of feel.
yeah. Whereas with that picture there, it just sort of looks like she was the blacksmith's daughter, and when her father was killed, she'd vowed to take revenge.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Or just like the stand of like they're not gonna let me fight, but I will show what I can do.
Yeah, father never let me hold a sword.
But I trained in the deepest of night against the training dummy for 2 hours, and now I'm the best.
In this new young adult series, we have.
It does very much have that young adult feel about it, doesn't it?
Honestly, like it's a young adult sort of story set in the world of Lord of the Rings doesn't seem absolutely awful, but
No, it's just
you,
that that's also not this.
yeah, that's also not what's happening.
No.
I actually like that armor until I now know it's Galadriel.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
it's a good
I was like,
costume for
oh,
the
that's
wrong character.
so human.
exactly. It's like it's a great costume. I love the way it looks and all the ridges
Yeah,
and like
yeah,
the
like the
decoration and everything. It's
the
just
elbow
like
bits are pretty cool.
it's not Galadriel
Yeah,
in any way, shape, or form. This is a human fantasy soldier of a YA novel.
yeah. I for one am not Galad. This is real.
How dare you?
uh, cool. Are
But
there any other promos that we can apparently rip apart?
hold on. Let
That's what we're
me
doing today.
uh
I also have up some full body shots of costumes in the original Lord of the Rings. I was going to doodle some characters wearing those. Because why not?
was like uh
Doop, doop.
I found this.
This.
Um
Ooh. Ooh.
she is supposed to be a dwarf queen. apparently. Here's a more full body. Um, and like that's also not the vibe I'm getting.
Yeah, too much cloth and
Yeah,
like
it feels very like I don't associate drapery with dwarves. I think
yeah,
that's my name for it.
it's not hardy enough. Not
And also like there's the Lord of the Ring like real Lord of the Rings fans saying that like she needs a beard because she's a
yeah.
dwarf lady, which is also like I'm
Where's
on
her
board with that.
beard?
I don't know. It's just like
Look at like if you look at that hairdo, like you could tie the beard up into it. That'd be cool.
yeah. I mean, there's lots of cool things that you could do with it. It's just like this is not. It doesn't really feel dwarfish to me.
No,
It's
unless it's like, hang on, let me see if I can get a closer look at the picture. Get bigger thingy. Uh,
like if you put this outfit on like a taller character, I'd be like, that's an elf, which is
yeah,
kind of the
it's
opposite of what you need.
yeah, like I was wondering. I was trying to see like whether or not it was actually cloth or whether it was like really fine chainmail or something like that could work
Yeah,
because it's
that,
all about the metal. They like their metal.
yeah, exactly, and I wouldn't mind that. It's just like I believe this is just cloth. So
Yeah, I don't.
like it feels like because when you look at uh uh Thorin from the Hobbit movies, who is like
Triforce.
dwarven king, that's like same position, so you can easily compare them, and it's very much like furs and leather and armor and everything. And
Yeah,
like what?
she's wearing a lot of Triforces. Yeah, this is the
um,
Triforce of digging too deep. Triforce of diggy diggy hole.
um, trying to
She is the leader of the Gorons in this world.
find a good picture of Thorin. For some
Thorin.
reason, it's harder than I imagined.
I keep
Um,
thinking it's a Gorum from like Zelda.
Yeah. She's got the Triforces. She's in the rock place. It's a Goron. And then you got the elves who are like the Zors.
I like. I
I
believe
guess they're the
the
Hylians as well.
complaint with the Hobbit movies at the time was that the dwarf looked too human.
Yeah.
So even this is like not even like actual dwarfish. This still looks very much human, but it still feels more dwarfish than the other one.
Yeah. I know there is obviously the difference. Like this character is clearly like not a warrior, so they're not going to be wearing like lots of armor and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But they
okay, but like it's like in my mind, like in dwarvish society, like a king or queen would have to like it would have to be more than just like the political leader that looks pretty. You know?
yeah.
Like
I feel like at the very basis in dwarvish society, you should wear like relatively thick clothes to make up for the fact that all of the walls are made of rough stone.
yeah,
And if you
exactly.
bump
Like
into that rough
it
stone,
doesn't feel like the type of society where you can get away with like wearing drapery again.
yeah,
Like
and you're like away from the
it,
sun, so it's going to be cold.
yeah, you want things to be warm and you want things to be practical. I think that's the biggest thing. You want your clothing to be practical because that's what I said it and my mind immediately went like, yes. Keyword for dwarves is practical.
Practical.
They're the opposite of the elves, in which like for the elves everything is flowy and beautiful and like lots of like little frills and like strips of fabric that don't really do anything and iron decoration and everything. And then dwarves are like the opposite of the side of the spectrum, where it has to be functional, it has to be practical, and um but that shouldn't mean like not beautiful, just beautiful in a
Ooh.
different way, because I think dwarves would still be like, because they make lots of armor, of course they're gonna have like a sense of like beauty and like jewelry and um like all the other things you can smith. I blanked out there for a moment, but like
Oh yeah. There's gonna be a lot of decoration.
yeah, there's gonna be a lot of decoration, but like the core of the clothing should feel practical
Yeah,
in a sense.
it's hardy.
How do you like the meals?
Look at this. Look at this. Good draw.
Look at Christy actually doing good draws.
Yeah, I know.
I love the curtain. El, Elrond, I can't remember the name now.
Elrond.
Elrond. There it is. I was thinking like, wait, Elrond.
Or Ron for short.
But yeah, I don't know. It feels very like, I'm sorry, I'll take
Like,
the
I want to say I like that outfit, but the more I look at it, the less interested, the kind of more slightly cobbled together it looks.
What outfit?
yeah.
You don't really get the impression that the
Oh,
piece is
oh.
necessarily like you get the impression when you're looking at that outfit. Hang on, let me get it back up so people can see it. You get the impression when you're looking at that outfit that you could take bits off and just mix and match with other outfits. Whereas I
Yeah.
feel like in the original Lord of the Rings, like things work together quite well.
Yeah.
No outfits.
And this is just like basic. Okay, do you want to know the bit that I think is cool in this picture?
Mm-hmm.
It's that bit. Basically, get rid of the outfit. I think the hair's cool.
Yeah, the
I
hair
like-
is amazing.
I like the little gold sprinkles. That
Yeah.
feels very
that
dwarf.
does feel very dwarfish.
Just gonna grind gold into my hair. Sure, it's
Yeah.
very dwarfy.
Decoration.
Has gold sprinkles.
Yeah, if you look at the hair, sort of like gold dandruff.
That's amazing. I
And
want
also-
gold dandruff. Give me.
Yeah.
Oh god,
just
I'd be
like-
rich.
Just this like golden sprinkles on the head feels very dwarfish, and also like the very like braids.
Yeah,
Very much
Yeah.
braided.
the
like-
hairdo,
The
big
hair
fan.
design was
Yeah.
the best in those movies. Jesus. I could just look at those braids of the Obelix kind of guy for hours.
Yeah. Because like that's one of the things that I really like to think about with the dwarves, like, and I also have read it in like fan fiction a lot because I'm a nerd. Um,
Oh,
but like
Well,
where
you're a nerd. You think you could be in our company? Us, who are definitely not nerds.
I don't know, but
I'm
where
definitely
people
not
give
gonna
like
2 hours.
very much meaning to like the braids of the dwarves. Like it's a very like integral part of their society. Which is like it comes back in fan fiction a lot for Lord of the Rings, where it's just like, like courting braids and like um for when there's weddings and for like special events and for family and for everything, like which I always is a very I love that kind of thing. I'm a very big fan of that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that feels so the braids feel very dwarvish to me.
I have one issue looking through some screenshots for things to draw, and that is that I now look at the name Aragorn and think, isn't it Aradorn? No,
No.
it's
It's Aragorn.
No, it is Aragorn. No, that's no. Our brain has been ruined.
Wrong ranger.
Wrong. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how many wives Aragorn has, but
At least one.
at least one.
Um, but yeah, and and I really just want to clarify again that like it's not a dig against the like actress's skin color or anything because I think that's cool
No.
because nobody's like gonna like you just have to make it look like a dwarf, then the rest doesn't matter.
There is like one, well, possibly two issues I do have with the skin. It's got nothing to do with the color. Firstly, I expect like more hair on the arms.
Yeah,
That's just
that
me.
too.
Secondly, just like in general, like more like she looks so smooth,
Yeah.
which is it's lovely. But like I just
Oh
imagine
yeah.
dwarves are all like scratchy and scarred and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. That I think that comes back to like the same thing as like the clothes. It's like dwarves are like a very like practical like s- species race anything. So like I don't think anyone apart from like newborn babies in that society is smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like 100% anyone any dwarf has worked with their hands in some way. Like
I mean, maybe like this could work if, like, in context, this character is introduced in amongst a load of dwarves that are what we expect it to be, and as a consequence, she stands out as being particularly different. And so you're like,
yeah,
this person is royalty. They're not a worker. They're like that could work.
yeah.
But obviously we've got all this out of context. So,
Mhm.
but at the same time, that's not the only problem. So.
No.
You know, you could use that as a good narrative, like, or a environmental storytelling, that this person is, a dwarf but does not have all of the consequences of the hard sort of
Yeah.
labor that a dwarf is expected to do, and as a consequence they would be the sort of person who wouldn't do the labor and thus royal.
Yeah, that'd be fair. But even then I think she like you say, she'd be too smooth because like again, dwarves are hairy. It's a known
Yeah.
fact of this universe.
Do, I was about to say, like, maybe the royals, they've got time to shave or whatever, but like in dwarven society, would that be appealing?
I don't think it would. That's like my entire thing. Like
I think there's a joke about like um I might be wrong, it's in the Lord of the Rings movies, it might be an entirely different franchise. But I'm pretty sure there is a joke about the women being hairy and humans and elves having um undesirable women because they're not.
Yeah.
yeah, I
So what do you mean your women don't have beards?
yeah, it is like a joke in like I think the second Lord of the Rings movie where like Gimli is at least that's one I know about where Gimli is like talking about like people can't see the difference between a dwarf woman and a dwarf man.
Oh yeah.
Why? Hang on. What? Sorry, I was just looking up the images and I got the image of a bunch of the cast for the new series.
Oh,
And Lenny Henry's in it? And
I
I
don't
don't.
know who that is.
Yeah, I don't know if people like in Britain. Lenny Henry is very well known. He's a comedian.
Oh.
He's known for hosting Red Nose Day, which is a big charity event for comic relief. And why Lenny Henry? I've never seen him do any kind of serious acting anywhere. Why is he in
Mm.
Lord of the Rings?
Mm.
Time for it, I guess.
I mean, it's not impossible. Apparently he's a hobbit.
Okay, interesting. I also found a picture of a elven guy, I think, but it's also like it's constantly in compilations with things. So the picture of Galadriel is once again there, but like I'm shifting my focus to I think an elven guy.
As
I don't
elf he
know. It's
is, I
hard to
guess.
tell when everyone is wearing like mud brown.
Why? Why is he wearing a wood carving?
I don't know. I'm sure there's a reason for
I
I mean,
am wood elf.
it's
Thus I wear wood.
probably. It's also even weirder because like under you have the beautiful wood carving and then under there is like what they do for the armor where it's like abs, like when you see like Roman armor.
Oh yeah.
Which makes it look really weird and
I,
cluttered.
I just thought it was folds. No, that is abs.
Yeah.
They did a Batman.
Also, like, what is it a carving of?
I
Because like
don't know.
I don't know the we've discussed the stance of like dwarves with facial hair, but
Mhm.
elves, like this clearly has a moustache at
Yeah.
least.
I I don't believe elves can grow facial hair. I'm just
So
gonna come
so if
out
it's
and say that.
so if it's not a carving of an elf, is it a carving of an ent? And if
Maybe
so, is that not a little like
weird.
yeah, like we've chopped down a tree and carved an ent into it?
Oh, I didn't think of that.
Randomly fucked up.
Like
Also, why is no one in this series wearing more than two colors? Or
it's
wearing more than one color
yeah,
at
more than
that?
one color. No, excuse me. Elrond has beige on brown. We've discussed this.
I'm sorry. Like,
It's the Great Deku Tree.
also, just again, like, I don't believe elves can grow facial hair. I do believe uh, I am of the firm stance that all elves should have long hair.
Yeah.
Li- You can tie it up if you want, but like, you gotta have the flowy. I'm
You
sorry, that's
have
just
the
what elves do.
I love that. Indeed. You gotta have the flowy.
Gotta have the flowy. But then again, what do you have? Like, what happens if like you have characters with that sort of really tight curly hair, where it just sort of goes into an afro?
I mean, that's the thing about you can do like cool things with black hairstyles. You can do like all the like
It can be long
the
like Brit.
long braids and everything.
Oh yeah.
Like
I
you
love
can still like make it beautiful, long and flowy. Just
I was, I was about to say that sounds like a lot of work. No, that's exactly what the elves would love.
yes,
Spending
exactly.
all their
You
time
can't
working on
tell
their
me that an
hair.
elf wouldn't spend 300 years braiding their hair. That's exactly what an elf would do. Like, of course, an elf would go off just saying, I'm sorry, like, I have to take my leave for the evening. I'm gonna spend the next 450 years undoing the braids from my hair and then redoing my braids. It's gonna take a while.
Yeah. Interesting.
Like, of course, it would, like, mean a whole lot of effort on, like, the part of, like, costume department and such, but also that's what wigs are for.
Yeah, I don't know.
You can also just make convincing wigs, or you can
Yeah.
just hire people with longer hair, or extensions are also a thing. Like there's options for that.
Look, Chib, this is modern TV production. We don't go wigs. This we'll just CG it in.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I don't know what I, but yeah,
We'll have them wear a green helmet.
green bald cap. Just CG in their hair.
Oops, Thor. So we're here with let's do Lord of the Rings outfit critique. Okay, Thor.
It's Thor.
Well, Thor. Hey, Thor is Norse mythology, and that helped inform a lot of the original Lord of the Rings stories. So
You do glitter.
but yeah, the thing I'm finding interesting, and I'm really struggling to find a good photo. I'm looking at Legolas's outfit, and it's really simple. There's not a lot going on,
No,
but it just
honestly, because he's a forest elf, right?
yeah, but it just like it's so simple, but it just looks so elf, and I'm trying to work out why.
I
Is it too color?
I think first and foremost, I think just in general, like the hair has a lot to do with it. But also like it's simple, yes, but also like it's clearly like um and it still has like I'm looking at this picture where it has like still like different shades draping over each other and like cut off sections and like it still has that like loose silhouette.
Hmm.
Like if you look at it from like the waist up essentially, which you're gonna get a lot of shots of, it could just like you could imagine it flowing down into like one of those very long elvish robes or whatever.
By
It's
the looks
just
of it,
been
Lewis might be able to get us first-hand pictures of the costumes. By the looks of it, there's been to water workshops. But yeah, it's just like it's interesting that we're sort of talking about this idea of like the outfits being like, you know, oh well, Elrond's clothes are much too plain, there should be decoration and so on and so forth. But when you look at Legolas's outfit, it is really simple, but it gets it right. And I'm trying to work out like you're right with the sort of like it's very simple, but it still emphasizes this sort of like flowy silhouette. And yeah,
it's
there's also
also
some
just like it's simple but it's not plain.
yeah.
That's the thing. Like there's still like you can see like not everywhere, but like in some pictures you can see like the stitching and you can still see like some embroidery here and there or some details. Um and I don't know. There's probably like a lot of like actual like costume designer things of like how it emphasizes um like how it like narrows has like a narrowing pattern like towards the waist.
Yeah, there's this sort of
Which makes him
like
look like slimmer and more elvish. Um,
yeah, this sort of arrow pointing sort of darker cloth
yeah,
is interesting, and then it sort of splits afterwards into.
like I'm not like um capable enough to say anything about that, but that's probably also part of it.
Hey,
Um,
none of us are capable to do anything, but we do it anyway. Let's
Yeah.
just enjoy
uh,
talking about what you enjoy talking about. Go.
yeah. Um, and also another thing, uh, he like his primary color is this like forest green. It's not the fucking only color he's wearing.
Yeah, he does kind of look like he's wearing jeans in that. Must be said, but
It does kind of look like that, but it's still like there is still like this greenish cloth over like this whitish off-white like undershirt. And there's brown bits of bracers and random leather straps and everything, and he's wearing colors. I don't know why the people of the new Lord of the Rings series are just allergic to colors. It's like at first I thought it was just Elrond, but no. The more I look at his pictures, the more I'm like, it's everyone.
Have you seen modern TV? So there's
No.
no color. No color is allowed at all.
They call Danish TV. They saw the bridge
I was
once.
about
They
to
were like,
say.
they're onto something, and then everything was ruined from that day on.
I was about to say it was Danish crime dramas
Yep.
made everything grey briefly, and then everyone's forgotten how to use color since.
I
Be
just
sure, never knew.
I just realized that I've reblogged this Tumblr post a number of times where like they talk about how the lighting of the Lord of the Rings, where like how
Oh
they
yeah,
shot during nights but it's still like fully bright. That's not gonna happen for this. It's gonna be fucking
yep.
dark as fuck and you won't be able to see anything, and that upsets me a lot.
But it's realistic, you know.
No, it's awful. I cannot see.
And I love that. I no idea if it's apocryphal, but that story of like, Elijah Wood saying, "Hey, where's the light coming from in this scene?" And the director saying, "Same place as the music."
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
yes, I love that.
That's the mindset they should have, but that's not gonna happen because this is gonna be a fucking realistic portrayal of Lord of the Rings or whatever, and therefore everything must be dark always. The night is horrible and you cannot see,
Oh
which
my
is
god, I'm
exactly
sorry. I
like a
just
good
realized there's a
movie.
color picker. That's a
What?
color picker.
Yes, you can hold
Populating
down.
the colors.
You can hold down Alt if you wanna, and if you're an iPad, I don't know what that would be, but
I just wanted to quickly get that out of there. You
I think
can't
on
be seen.
Procreate, if you just sort of tap and hold, that's a color picker. But I don't know if that's true for.
Yeah,
this.
which is annoying really, because you can't just do it with one hand and still draw with the other. It
Yeah.
takes up time.
Well, that's what happens when you transfer from a interactive schema with like more than 100 buttons on it to touchscreen. You know, there are limitations that come from that. But everything must be app now, so no one uses keyboard no more. It's like, nobody has color in films anymore.
Colors are forbidden. Apparently, everyone's allergic to color. And good lighting.
Hey, you can't have good lighting because that emphasizes the lack of color.
Exactly, it's why we're constantly talking about how this guy is only wearing beige. Like, I'm looking at the picture of the elf with the wood carving again, and just like this horrible like mud brown that's awfully like it's not flattering at all. Like I truly noticed it when I saw the picture of the elf and Galadriel side by side, but this is just like Galadriel is just like only silver. She golden accents because of the hair, but other than that, only silver, and the guy is just only mud brown. It's awful.
Hey, look, some people did like half a year at art school, and they heard that if you assign a color to a character, it's thematically you can do thematic things with it, and thus that's it. That's as far as they got.
I want to redraw these screenshots with what I think they should wear.
I'm absolutely not going to stop you. You go right ahead.
I've also been doing this without zooming for some reason. So I'm just
Nice.
having a stupid art day.
Hey, that's not that's not stupid. It's what we call in the business impressive.
Yeah.
It's what we call in Danish målboarbejde, and that's doing things twice for no reason.
Nice.
Because like, I'm not a costume designer, but I think I do a better job than this.
I always like the idea of getting into tailoring, but I'm not really a designer of this sort of thing, it must be said. Coming up with ideas for costumes for characters is hard.
It is hard, yeah.
So what we need is Chibi to come up with the designs and then me to make it.
Yes.
I'm trying to think how we can get Christi in on this. Do you want to do more designs? I'll be the bottleneck then.
Can I get the clothes?
Oh yeah, do you want to model? Do you want to model the clothes?
Oh, maybe not. I just want to wear it.
Oh yeah, well, you can have the end product. I'm not going to wear
Also
it.
good.
I just
Yeah.
want to be a hobbit.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I haven't actually like. Are there like promo shots of like, the Hobbits? Like, have they at least gotten that right? Because those are very simple to get right.
Coming up with character designs is very hard. I can come up with character designs as costumes. The problem is that I don't care about clothes, and that's quite an issue. You know, all of my clothes are basically the same.
I love clothes, but when it comes to actually drawing them, I think it's really hard because I don't tend to like put in a lot of detail because I don't have the fucking patience.
Well, it's good for a one-off though, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. For like this, like for a redraw kind of thing, where like I just redraw these people with like clothes I think they should wear, where it's just solely like I want to see them in these clothes, then I think it's fine. Because I don't have to think about anything else. I just have to make them look pretty.
I'm thinking drawing this outfit, this Legolas outfit. There's a lot of diagonal lines. And I
Yeah.
think that's quite it. A lot of very few straight cuts anywhere.
Yeah,
And that just adds a little bit of sort of dynamism to it, a little bit of sort of, I don't know, it draws the eye in different directions.
yeah, it's very I don't know how recent it was, but I saw like a Tumblr post where they talked about the costuming of the Witcher, where like it was the main Witcher Geralt versus the horny bard. Um but like where they had to like they had a challenge because the actor who plays like the bard is also like a very buff dude. Very like large and buff dude. So if you put them in like any clothes, then they will kind of look the same. But so they had to make him look smaller than he actually is, which they used this lot of like uh exactly these like diagonal lines for. Um so that like it no, they used the diagonal wait, hold on. I'm trying to remember now.
There's part of me that thinks that's impressive that they put that amount of thought in order to get that sort of appearance and that illusion with so on and so forth. But there's also part of me is like, why did you hire that actor?
It's also just a general because
Me
like
too.
all Hollywood or wherever it is, most
The only
actors are
good.
buff as fuck.
That's really impressive because I thought he was really scrawny.
No, it's like actually a lot of that is the costume department just being really good at their job.
That's very
I do
good.
remember like at least because he has like the more puffy sleeves generally speaking, or they try to put him in a lot of like puffier sleeves, which makes him look much scrawnier than he is. Which I thought was very interesting. I'll have to see if I can find that post
Also,
because
puffy sleeves makes you look scrawnier.
I
What?
guess by comparison, your arms look thinner. I guess is the idea.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah,
I
it's
thought of that.
yeah, the
It's a
not
bit like
like
how
shoulder extensions or anything, but like the actual like puffy sleeves, and it like makes your shoulders look big, but the rest of you looks very small by comparison.
yeah, it's like
And also because with
uh,
the puffy sleeves, there's more room to like play with like they can hide where the shoulder like joints actually are by just like moving the seams around a bit. Uh,
I have a newfound respect for the Witcher projection. Doesn't take much, but still.
mm,
I'm sorry, I'm bitter after I've read the books and watched the second season.
and now I need to see if I can find the fucking post. Mm.
I'm not using the color figure again.
I'll keep doing that.
Yes. Hold on. I found the Tumblr post. So,
Ah! You found something on Tumblr.
no, I
How
found
do
it
you do this?
through Google.
Oh, okay.
I googled it.
I was gonna say, like, there was a thing. Miss sent me a meme of several versions of it going around of like yeah, I'm into NFTs, and then there's like 3 pictures of like a dog. It's like noses, feet, and teeths.
Oh,
And I was like, I found one like that, but with cats on Tumblr. Let me look for it. And I searched for about 10 minutes and gave up. And I said, I looked for a cat version of this, so I gave up. So here's pictures of bread shaped like seals. And it's like, it's so impossible to find anything on Tumblr that you just find something else. It's completely unrelated, and you're like, that'll do instead.
um. Yeah, it's a very interesting post and it's very long, so but it has a lot of interesting things about like the jackets and the lines of like the seams and everything and how it makes you look broader or smaller depending on the thing. It's an interesting read. Also, yeah,
Um, sitting down trying to think of like, which fantasy race would each of the outliers be?
um, interesting.
personality-wise, it's easier than fitting the personalities to the characters.
I mean, I think
That
Rufus
would
would
be
make
a
a
hobbit.
great hobbit.
Yeah, I feel like Rufus would it suits that kind of lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's like,
Just, staying around in your home and making lots of meals and having a great life. And like the worst thing that can happen is that your neighbor shows up.
that's on brand.
Um, Other than that, it's pretty hard.
Yeah.
Uh,
But in a sense, it's a compliment. Hey, you've made characters that don't fit into these archetypes. That's kind of nice.
yeah.
They just fit into different archetypes.
That's true. Um, but I lost anything that I was previously thinking about in search for this Tumblr post. It's just what Tumblr does to me, but you know. Um, but, it, I think it's I think it's a shame because like I think it's cool that like the series has a lot of like um people of color in it, diversity.
Yeah.
That's I will always welcome that. It's just like I want to see what they can do to like make it's gonna sound awful saying this out loud, but like make people of color fit the aesthetic of like these already established things.
Mm.
Um, like how can you like a black woman who how can you like make her natural hair like long and beautiful and like which kind of like different like um outfits from um the like how can you like work different cultures into this already existing aesthetic, you know? Does
Yeah.
that make sense? Or do I am I making myself sound like awful?
No, it's fine. You're
It's
you're just gonna get
okay.
cancelled, and
Very well. I would have said it probably the same way.
It's like
basically, it's like they've decided to go for we're gonna have diversity in the cast, and that's as far as they thought.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
we're gonna hire
It's
actors from all different backgrounds. Okay, cool. How are we gonna? What are we gonna? Are we gonna expand that to costume design and hair? And nope. Okay.
yeah, exactly. It's like
What are we
if
gonna give
you
them? Nothing.
like and I don't mean like go full stereotype with them. It's just like how can you work like natural hair into these things like you mentioned with like the um black elf from before. Like how would
Yeah.
you make his natural hair look like long and flowy and it's
Yeah.
like
And
would
the
you
answer
do
is they
braids
didn't.
or they didn't.
The answer
That
is
was
that
their answer.
requires thought.
That requires thought and effort, but like you could because black people
In
have
real,
been dealing with their hair for like
yeah, just
ever.
Yeah.
like a couple of sentences or something. Like, great, that's long and flowy and has those bits in front of the ear.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like
done.
yeah, there are ways to I like I'm not knowledgeable enough about like black hairstyles because I'm not a black woman, but like you could make that work. If you ask the right people, they would be able to find ways to make it work.
Yeah.
Problem is usually, yeah, not asking the right people.
Like I said, I
Mm.
feel like and again, we're working on very simple promo shots or whatever. We don't really
Yeah.
have the full story just yet. But it does just kind of feel like we've done what's expected of us in the casting, and we haven't given either the time or the budgets to the departments that can do something with that.
Yeah.
It's just like let's push this through.
hmm I mean, it's very much the case of like we already had like the costumes and everything ready to go. Like
Yeah.
that didn't
We
change
need
with the
in
casting choice. Like obviously like they had to modify it for body shapes and everything, but other than that, it's like this was pretty much the idea from the beginning.
Can I just the difference between what I've done in this time and what Christie's done in this time?
Listen, it's both great. I like them
Aww.
both. Em is
Now
so
that
cute, and that's such a great painting.
except it doesn't look like who it's supposed to be, so it's fine. I've just
It's
That's
plucked some
cool.
paints on the thing. I'm actually enjoying painting in this program now, so that's nice.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Now
also,
you have the correct tools. That's
your looks like Star Wars even more now.
I guess that's just what happens when you don't give the Lord of the Rings clothes like appropriate colors.
yeah.
It just kind of like delves into Star Wars territory.
Star
With
Wars
the
Outliers.
lines and the strapping I don't know how to say it, but the overlapping fabrics in different directions just screams Star Wars to me. Are you given a lightsaber?
Lightsaber.
Yeah.
I don't know who trusted M with a lightsaber. It's a terrible idea, but
Listen, nobody trusted Anne with a lightsaber. She found it.
yeah.
It's not drawn, so
She found it. She
hey,
thinks it's a cool glow stick. That's as far as she got.
She doesn't know she can fight with it, and
No.
thank
not
God.
finding the button. Oh no, that button looks so pressingable. Pressable?
Pressable,
Pressable. There it is.
I guess.
Yeah, it's Ray now.
It is. I cannot find any promo shots of like any Hobbit characters. I don't know if that's
Has anyone
true or not.
done drawing Star Wars characters as if they were in Lord of the Rings and Lord of the Rings characters as if they were in Star Wars?
Probably yes.
The show has, but I mean,
I
hasn't fans drawn anything as in anything?
yeah. I mean, like, let me just look up Lord of the Rings Star Wars crossover and see what I find.
Also, you got any idea of who this armor is?
It's hold on.
It's
Wait.
Sean Bean.
No, I think
Is it? I don't know.
no. It's
Oh, I know. I
Bean.
don't know his name, but I know who it is. It's the
It's
guy.
it's the guy. Yes, that
Hang
one.
on. Lord of the Rings characters. What's his name?
Is it fucking what's his name? The elf from uh Lothlorien, not the royals, but like the other one.
Where is he?
I don't know.
Where's
I'm
the
very
thing?
bad at guessing people.
That's the one. It
Oh
doesn't
yeah,
give me
you're
the
right.
name. That doesn't help.
The fucking Haldir? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was of Laura, and I had to look it up. But also, Sean Bean's character, I had to think of what their clothes looked like in my mind. I wasn't just giving a cold shoulder. And it's very boring. Boring. Boromir.
Boring me.
Yeah.
Was the one I was thinking of? That's probably not the one I was thinking of. No, it's not the one I was thinking of. Looks similar though. It looks like the less cool version of the one I was thinking of. Who was I thinking of then?
There you go. Lord of the Rings of Star Wars.
You're thinking of this dude.
Yay!
Yeah, see, that's cool.
For some reason, I think it's because he's surrounded by a lot of characters in blue. I was completely thrown off by the color palette because I thought he was wearing blue in that scene.
Yeah, he has that striking red cape, but
Yeah.
This is
don't-
the character you should be looking at in this scene.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, at least they're
also
not
for
allergic to color. Like, you
Yeah.
know who you're supposed to be looking at. It's this guy, clearly.
Lord
Strange.
of the
I
Rings
think I'm
elves.
purple a lot.
who I'm still trying to find the person I was thinking of.
Who are you thinking of? Describe them. Let's
it's he
play
look
Guess Who.
he looks like uh
Are they an elf?
yes.
Okay.
He looks like if you were to take the one that Christi chose and like put him on the left hand side of a slider, and then on the right hand side put like, I don't know, Alan Cumming or Benedict Cumberbatch or somebody with cheekbones. Just drag that slider about a third of the way towards that direction. That's who I'm looking at.
like
It looks like somebody's taken this guy and stretched his face out a bit. Again, you might look at him and go, "What on earth are you talking about?"
Because I'm like trying to think of any like other elf characters that are like have some semblance of screen time. And the only thing I can think of is like Galadriel's husband, who also doesn't have a lot of screen time, but he is like a blonde elven man. So, at least there's that.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking of a blonde elf man who evidently I thought was this guy. So that's how good I am with it. Telephone?
This guy.
Is that the guy?
Is that the man you're thinking of?
Oh, really? No.
No. Okay, great. Who are you thinking of?
Is it? Unless that's a weird photo day for him. I'm trying to. I have pictures, but I can't try and find the name. Any names?
Show me the picture.
So and now I've lost the picture. Great.
This is the worst game of charades.
I found a flaw in my original plan of, hey, draw an outfit and then we'll guess the character. Turns out I don't know any of the characters.
Great. Who else is?
Who's with who with it now?
Are you thinking? Are they in the original Lord of the Rings or are they in The Hobbit?
I don't know.
Oh, I know now.
Are you thinking of Crandriel?
Yeah.
I
That's
don't.
what I'm asking.
Am I thinking of a trundle wheel? Not probably not.
Crandall, who is Lee Pace.
Is he
That's
good?
what you're describing.
Most fabulous man on this side of the world, I believe. But
That's the one. This guy. Mister, I'm like the other guy, but slightly cooler looking.
Yeah.
I like his crown as well. Crown's cool.
Yeah, like fucking costume department for like the Hobbit was also very good.
Was this in The Hobbit? I haven't seen The Hobbit.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is one of the main characters in The Hobbit.
Well, good job, brain. You've done something strangely impossible. There we go. That's that mystery solved. I'm glad we spent time on that.
I was reminded how awesome he looks.
Yeah, I'm just looking at pictures of him and God, he looks so awesome.
It's cool.
Just like the stature of him in the movie.
Fucking
Like,
look
you
at that.
think that person is going to kill you with his eyes.
Oh, absolutely. He would murder me in an instant.
He's so powerful, he cut out the background.
He just looks.
I don't remember. Oh, I zoomed in, and yeah, it's the same crown.
The same crown. They just didn't. There's like I'm not lasso selecting around that thing.
I was about to say I don't remember that crown.
It's a bit Maleficent in pure silhouette, but
but you get the point.
Yeah, Get the point.
He's so pretty.
It's cool.
So pretty.
Pretty boy.
I remember watching tutorials on how to make that crown.
I'm now just gonna be
Nice.
constantly posting pictures of him, but like, look at him. How could I
Look.
not?
Look, it's that fabric again. That's elven fabric.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's the right
It's
size.
way too much fabric to be practical, but he makes it work somehow.
Beigey, but it's the right type of
Yeah.
fabric.
It's like, my throne is not made of fabric, but I will make it look like it is.
Yeah. I think that's just part of being elven. It's long hair and too much fabric.
Can you imagine being an elven weaver? Like, it's good work, but boy, howdy, there's a lot of it.
First
Yeah.
they're giant spiders.
Or embroiderer, I guess, probably.
It's a lot of silk.
There's a lot going on. This is like, okay, so what... This is how I tend to write stories in weird fantasy worlds, is think of like the mundane question, and then write a story around that.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I want a story of like one of each of the most annoying jobs for each of the races, and then have a character that's doing that, and then get them all together to complain about...
Sounds great.
It's like an elven weaver.
The elven weaver definitely.
I don't know what a hobbit, like hobbit sort of architect is
Brewer?
mostly digging.
I think it's like someone. It's like whatever the fucking hobbit equivalent is of customer service.
Oh god.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's what the most
I
annoying
don't
job is
think that
for the
Hobbit-
hobbit.
because of, yeah.
Hobbit complaints manager or something. Hobbit PR.
Yeah, something like that. Just because the hobbits have nothing, like, they don't care about, like, battles or anything. They want to complain about, like, what their neighbor did 5 months ago that's still annoying them to this day.
Oh, it's
Dis-
humans.
Dispute mediator or something like that.
Why are
Someone,
hobbits humans?
yeah. um,
Humans
okay.
No,
just
different.
battle in Lord of the Rings, huh? That's all they're about.
I'm guessing dwarf. It's obvious to go minor for dwarf, but
I mean, but like, most of them are doing that, probably.
yeah, exactly. So I'm trying to think of something a little more obscure.
Think,
Traveling long distances.
Like, what is something that dwarves would use a lot of that is just really inconvenient to get or make?
Yeah, like, yeah, that's truly like what you're asking. Like, what's the most inconvenient job there is for dwarves?
What do they
Just-
have to travel the furthest to get? Wood?
I mean, like, they get through a lot of leather.
Yeah,
So where do they get that
hunters?
from?
They strike me as someone who loves hunting, though.
Are there
Yeah.
underground cows?
Maybe.
Because
I mean-
either A, they have to go above ground and get cows, which is like just spend all your time out in the sun. It sounds bloody horrible for a dwarf. Or B, underground cow farmer. Just the smell alone. It's like you're trapped underground. That smell's not going anywhere.
No.
Particularly given that you also have to tan the leather underground.
I guess it's just like farmer, I guess. Like that would be the most inconvenient job to have as a dwarf.
I guess so, yeah.
Because either you have to like live above ground outside or inside and you have to deal with like what kind of crops are you gonna grow under the mountain? Like are you gonna carve out
Mushrooms?
a window? And even then, is there a guarantee that people are gonna eat your crops, or are they just gonna, drink meat for 7 days and then fuck off.
Or
Meat
maybe
and
that's it. Maybe it's like honey collector for the mead. It's just this dwarf who's like perpetually stung everywhere.
that would have
There's
been
no finesse in the job.
side
They're a
quest.
dwarf. Like, they go at it with an axe. Right?
Bees keep running away.
Yeah, no, there's no bee farming. There's too much effort involved in like trying to work out how to
Honey
do that.
hunting.
Yeah, honey hunter. There we go.
Like
Dwarven
those
honey hunter.
beehives that people hunt with or like get down with machetes.
Yeah, like that, but with a big
Mm.
axe.
Yeah. It has to be like 4 stacked upon each other. They can't climb. a
Yeah,
lot of
and
them.
I imagine they're like cousin it from the Addams family. They've got so much hair, and that's their only protection.
They decide to grow their hair out because that's the fucking only thing they can do to protect them from the
Yeah.
bee stings.
Okay, cool. Dwarven honey hunter. Hobbit PR.
I can just imagine
Elven Weaver.
Elven Weaver.
For the humans, it's just
Humans are boring.
yeah, humans are
Humans
boring.
are human.
humans are sad in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
Just fighting and being refugees.
But they got lots of rings though, so it's fine. They got 9.
and they all love that they got so many rings. No one
Yeah.
regretted it.
Not at all. It's amazing.
Yeah,
Oh no, we can leave out the humans. They're boring.
yeah, humans are boring. I mean, I think that's it. Unless you
Oh,
want to go like orcs
Yeah, we can get an orc in here. Why not? Or an ent.
or an ant. I mean, do ants have jobs? I mean, I guess they have jobs because their job is like watch the trees.
Yeah.
Whatever. They were doing something so much that like the ant wives left, so they clearly do something.
So like ent matchmaker.
Probably what they're doing is the worst.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
just keep it as ent.
just being an ant.
Being an ent.
Being an ant and wanting a wife. That's just inconvenient as fuck.
Ent courtesan.
Yeah. And for orcs,
I don't
Being
really know a lot
bored.
about orcs.
being
Being
yeah,
bored in orc looks very uncomfortable.
yeah, the fucking how like the Urukai were like torn out of like this muck.
Fish
Yeah.
sack.
That was awful.
Is it the person who like takes that
So-
muck away afterwards?
Yeah, like the orcish equivalent of a midwife.
Okay, orcish midwife.
We have a strange array of jobs over here.
Do you see what I mean about like this is a good way to write a story? You get all these characters together, something's gonna happen.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's also just. It's also because like they each have their like own skills, but their own skills are tailored specifically towards their own people.
Hmm.
Because
And it's
like
like
the
and-
orcish midwife cannot help like a human with like giving birth because humans generally aren't born out of the mud and like flesh of their ancestors or whatever.
I do like the idea of like the orcish midwife sort of coming across a human giving birth. It's like, oh my god, what's that? Oh no, that's not how it's supposed to work.
No, there's something severely wrong with this.
Humans.
Humans are weird.
What do you mean a baby lives inside of you for 9 months?
That's
So
horrible.
inconvenient.
How are you supposed to fight? What do you mean you don't fight?
I'm sort of feeling of like all these characters sort of getting together and like, you know, maybe for some reason they're all like cast out for complaining about their jobs or something, and they're just like a gaggle of these weird people
Yeah.
trying to live on their strange skills.
Yeah.
What about wizards?
So, yeah, like the elven cloth weaver is like, I can like weave like entire like yards of fabric. Um but it's only like the fine like
Yeah.
frail stuff and not like, you know, actual durable
Yeah.
material.
And it's immediately destroyed by a cloud of bees.
Yeah. I can give you new clothes and you'll look pretty, but like you're not supposed to do stuff in clothes. That's what armor is for. In clothes, you're supposed to sing and dance and be pretty. And like recite poetry for 3 months. What's not to understand about that?
I keep looking at Elrond. It's just like staring at us. It's like, stop making a better story.
It's very menacing in a weird way.
I know you're making a better story out there. Stop it.
I will always just love the almost joke of elves doing some things for like far too long. Like just dance for 5 years or something stupid like that. Uh-huh. Who knows how their biology works? Maybe they can do that.
Maybe. Who knows? They're weird.
I keep thinking of the honey hunter and it keeps making me laugh. Such a stupid thing.
So there's not a laughing matter being a honey hunter. It's a lot of mead they need.
I mean, I guess there should be one human of the group just as like the straight man. Just as
Yeah,
like this one.
the human the human is the one that's got the human is the Bilbo of the group. It's just like
Yeah.
you're all weird, and I've got to deal with you.
Like they thought they had a weird inconvenient job and then they met the others and now they're like, what? What do you mean? Well, who else is gonna weave the cloth? Uh,
There we go. Fist and air. Okay.
it's there.
That's what's going on here. Those are all ants in the air, just flying around.
That's horrible.
And the director's just said to Elrond to just punch them.
Fist and air, okay?
And he's just like, his face is like, okay.
Okay. Uh,
I want to draw Honey Hunter Dwarf. It's just like a big ball of
Do it.
hair.
Dude.
I love this. You do that. I do the thing redesigns of the clothes of the screenshots. Christy, you want a new project? We'll think of one for you. We still have time left.
Christi, keep doing amazing art, please.
Yes, that too.
I call this an art stream, and this is primarily because of the things you make.
Yes.
Oh,
I
I'm
haven't
sorry.
drawn anything besides this cat.
You wanna hear something funny? I
Yes.
closed down Discord on accident.
No.
Oh no.
I stole your picture, Chip.
Also, as I was looking for Hobbit screenshots of the new series, I didn't find any of that. But I did find this very strange, unflattering picture of Elrond. Just
What is this? Is from like a Backstreet Boys video or something? What is this?
I don't know what's going on, but it isn't doing him any favors, in my opinion.
At least we get a clearer look at that weird pauldron thing.
What is that?
That also looks far too shabby to be elven.
Yeah. Like, it looks like part of it, like, broke off.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't finished.
Tassels are too thick and scraggly. The pauldron's all just broken. So this is like, are the elves like mid-war or something?
I don't know. Maybe.
This doesn't feel this. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. But then, how did you make the hair look so good?
The hair is just a standard, like, guy I could find on the streets.
Yeah, it's a bit Baywatch, isn't it?
It's like, I didn't know they had, like, modern hairstyling products during this time.
Did you know Galadriel invented Brill cream? It's there. There. There.
Okay.
There.
Huh?
There.
Why are you cawing like a bird?
There.
I didn't do anything.
There. Etc. This is the problem. I've committed myself to designing a honey hunter. But again, I don't know what dwarven clothes are. I need to look up
Practical.
references.
30.
All I'm thinking is like not many layers, because the more layers you have, the more likely bees will get trapped in it.
Yeah. I have a question because because I was skimming through the trailer and I found like a screenshot of it. What the fuck is this? Just, as a general question, what is happening?
Ah, the good old wood butterflies.
What is that? What's on their back? What are they doing?
It's Krampus' cousin.
it's they both have moose spine disease.
Moose and hoof disease.
Yeah, no, I've got nothing. Looks interesting. This looks like something from Wildermyth. You know what I mean?
It does.
This looks randomly generated.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of cool. Don't know what it is.
Yeah. I mean,
Guess
I,
that's
I
the
have no
idea.
idea what it is or what they do. In the trailer, they're just kind of like walking. They're just like walking over some planes, but like, maybe that's fine.
Why would they walk when they could tree fly?
I don't know. This series confuses me. And that's probably mostly because there's only a teaser trailer, but still. It still confuses me. And it looks far too much like a adaptation of a random YA novel.
It's like, I don't know what it is about like modern fantasy things, but they've all something about the way they're filmed or the way they're shot. They just all feel like they, regardless of the original art direction or whatever, they just all feel like they got the same tone. There's something like,
Yeah,
I could imagine this appearing in um the Discworld series that was recently made, The Watch, and like that's like post-apocalyptic cyberpunk style thing, and it's like I could see this appearing in that. It's like,
it's
why? Totally, they're nothing different, but sorry, they've got nothing in common. But it's just like, but they've, I don't know. It just all feels the same. It just all feels
yeah.
oddly homogenous.
It does. It all feels very like samey for some reason. Like just the general vibes of everything. And it's just like I don't know, maybe it's just because we're only looking at screenshots, but I'm like in like just vibe, nothing else. Like if you look at the screenshot of Thranduil, the Elven King, and then like the screenshots from like or like the teaser trailer, it just doesn't feel like they're in the same universe.
Yeah, I
'Cause
get maybe it is maybe part of it really is lighting.
yeah,
Maybe it really is like, there is color and contrast
yeah,
in the lighting of the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings things, and everything's just sort of like mid grey for the modern
it's
stuff.
because now I'm also looking at like the if you like look at like the um I don't hmm, yeah, it feels like very like uh it's it's always like the same time of day except if it's night. Does that make sense? Like in terms of lighting. Like
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah,
there are like you don't have like sunsetty colors or anything like that, or you don't have like this because like this picture of like um Celeborn, Galadriel's husband, has like this blue like wash over it almost. Like it
yeah,
just like
yeah,
and it makes everything feel coherent, but it also gives this like very like magic-y, like elfishy vibe to everything. And like s- the picture underneath it of like Thranduil is like probably just for like a photo shoot or something like that. But it is like very warm in tone and like it does have this um like more like um otherworldly vibe to it. Not like I don't know. It
Yeah,
it
yeah.
feels very much like there are like different lighting sections that they have like switched, and then for like most recent television, it's always kind of like this
You're welcome.
same same lighting type of just it's daytime and they do nothing fancy with it, and it's nighttime and you can't see anything. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
My dog just loudly snorted that.
That's satire.
And it's even like with the like picture of Elrond, like the oh god, now I cannot unsee that. Like the there's like this very yellowy lighting like on the grass and such. Like the grass is like this kind of not super yellowy, but like it has a more yellow vibrant like look to it. And then on Elrond it's just not there. Is like is that just my vision like playing with me, or is it
It kind of is like, you know, hey, I'm grey in a sea of color.
yeah, it like he doesn't like now he almost feels like actually photoshopped in, which is very weird. I cannot unsee that now.
Kiro is playing Bioshock Infinite while we're chatting, and apparently our nice calm chat is a contrast to the havoc in the game.
Yeah.
Spoilers, there's havoc.
Really, hadn't guessed. Uh, but yeah, it feels I don't know, it feels off in some way. I don't know. Maybe that's just me thinking too much about lighting that I don't know anything about. But I don't know.
Eh,
Just
people are allowed to think about things, you know.
yeah, I know, but it's like you know, professionals probably did this who have like a far better grasp of like actual lighting techniques and everything. But on the other hand, there's
You
also a studio behind this, and you know,
thing is, like, if if the professionals, they've got a grasp on this and they know about it and so on and so forth, and the end product is people look at it and go, that looks weird, they haven't done a good job. Like,
yeah,
you can
that's
justify it with
true.
technical terms all you like. The end product is what people see.
Yeah.
Like, and how they react to what they see.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's like very like yeah, it really does like everything is either lit at the same time of day or it's night. Like that's also the vibe I'm getting from like the Galadriel screenshot, which is just it's the same type of day. It's the same time. It's like, you know, midday probably, and it's just generically sunny, but not too sunny. Because you can have too sunny, but you also can't have cloudy. So it's just kind of fine. And like and then um because now I'm also thinking of like um very specific scene in the Lord of the Rings, so I don't know if anyone's gonna guess what I'm referencing. But if I remember correctly, like the scene where Aragorn is found by the horse.
Yeah, it's a good scene.
I believe that's like lit at like a sunsetty kind of thing, and it almost has this like very dreamy feel to it because it's supposed to have a very dreamy feel to it, but because he almost died. But he does it like the world is all weird and everything, and it's very like bright. And it's like I don't think I've seen that like recently in like
A kind of lighting, or
I don't know. I
There
don't
is
know.
also like editing, like in editing, you can kind of you can't fully change, like you can't change a day scene into a night scene, like that will
No.
take far too much. You know, day for night is sort of a good uh a good measure of bad planning in something when it's like this was filmed during the day but they wanted it to be at night, so they put a blue filter over it and it looks terrible. um But at the same time, you can color correct a warm scene into a cool scene. You can color correct, and there is a possibility that just in editing, they just edit out the lighting personality and get it to match, like, get all the footage to sort of match and feel coherent, and that just makes it lose contrast. Maybe
Yeah. I mean,
you, you need like a kind of unified directorial eye to say no, it should feel like this, no, it should feel like this, and it might just be very detached and like okay, everyone's doing their own job and just
mhm,
you know, as a consequence, everything just gets sort of normalized.
yeah, it. I think it's like just with um clothes. It's like they like probably not the professionals because like the people who do it are probably actually skilled at their jobs and know what they're doing. But um like the people in charge have probably like forgotten that like both lighting and and like clothes can say so much about a character.
Mm.
Like there's so much like identity in those things. Because like uh Galadriel I will always like associate with this like very like dreamy kind of offsetting like not completely right lighting. Like there's just
yeah,
something about it that's just slightly off. And it's very pretty and everything, but like it adds to that character of like, this is a person who like could destroy it in an instant if she so wanted to. That's probably also why the Galadriel doesn't feel like Galadriel. Because she's just
She's lit normally.
yeah.
She feels like she exists in the rest of the world, and that's not right.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so.
She's not other enough.
Mm-hmm. That is like at least for like movie identity, that's a big part of Galadriel's character, that she is just
It's like this is a very different sort of interpretation of this, but the Addams Family was on TV the other day.
mm-hmm.
Um, and I have gone on record as saying that the Addams Family is one of my favorite films.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I had only just noticed. I know they did it like in early scenes and things like that. But there's a character of Morticia. If you don't know, she's this
Mm-hmm.
sort of like
Yeah, yeah.
very gothic sort of
Beautiful woman.
just yeah, yes, very sort of yeah, gothic beauty, and just incredibly pale face and sort of bright red
Yeah.
lips and all that sort of stuff. And I'd sort of noticed a while ago that in every scene, she has that thing that they used to do in old noir films of having like a ray of light going across the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
In every single shot, she has this. And it's just like a kind of a funny stylistic choice. I only just noticed the other day that not only that, every single camera shot that's on her is slightly blurry. It's got that kind of again they used to put like grease on the lens when a beautiful woman would appear in a black and white film or whatever. So like everything seems a bit hazy and dreamy whenever she's and it's used for comedic effect, but it works. Like something like that. just slightly changing the feel of the shot is enough to just make you feel like this character stands out and has something particular about them, you know? And
Yeah,
obviously,
exactly. It's
like I said, the intention and the effect are different in these sort of two scenarios, but it's nonetheless the same sort of technique.
I mean, I'm gonna use music terms that I probably am gonna misuse because I don't know anything about music. But like, what's the word for it? Leitmotif. I
Leitmotif.
believe it is, where it's like this is like music intrinsic to like a character or a theme, and like you're not supposed to like reading into it or think about it too hard, but like on a subconscious level, whenever you hear it, you go, yes,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is, and I think that goes for lighting and clothing as well.
yeah. It can go for any design principle.
Colors, like everything. And like that, I mean, I don't notice enough film music to like, or TV music to say anything about that, about how that has changed.
All music now is bland. Seriously, film and TV music has gotten so stale.
Mhm. I mean, yeah, that is like the general consensus that I've heard, but like it seems that has pretty much gone for everything. That like these like little things of like leitmotif in music, lighting, character design, anything. It's just like gone away, and now it just all kind of feels samey because of that. Because those little details that are supposed to make you think of a character are gone.
Yeah, that's I like that way of thinking about it. Like the idea of like lighting or costume leitmotif. That's a nice, yeah, that's a nice analogy for that.
Because
And,
like
and like I agree with the sentiment, but I will say, gosh, that's a depressing thought.
it
I
is.
think you're correct, but I don't want you to be.
I don't want me to be correct either. That's my problem. Because it is the thing. Because I love Lord of the Rings. I also love the Hobbit movies, even though they're kind of like controversial and it were far too long. But like not really controversial. There wasn't actually like anything wrong with it. But you know, people are gonna complain. Um, but I love the Lord of the Rings, and I love the idea of doing more with Lord of the Rings. It's just when I look at these things, I don't get excited, and that's a problem.
Yeah,
And also, yeah, and also just like I don't recognize these characters, which is also a problem. Because like if you're gonna do a series about these beloved characters, then why would you design them in such a way that like when people look at them, they don't instantly go, "Oh, this is Galadriel," you know?
yeah.
Because I saw the screenshot of that woman last time we were talking about this, but I didn't post it because I didn't know who it was. I was just like, I can't say anything about this because I don't know who it's supposed to be. Apparently, it's Galadriel, and now I can complain about it.
Yeah, I had no idea. I was just like, oh wow, that's actually a nice costume.
Mhm.
Yeah, like it's nice. It doesn't do anything for the character, but it's nice.
No, it looks pretty. It
It's more than
just
can be said for Elrond. Elrond? Yes.
Elrond, yeah.
I've already forgotten his name.
That's that's bad if a character design is so bad that she makes you forget about his name, even though he's
Yeah.
a previous incarnation.
I have forgotten the name of the person who only 20 minutes ago reminded somebody of the name of.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like with any of these characters, like if I hadn't like read or heard like who they were supposed to be, I wouldn't know it. And like that's not a good sign. Because then, like, it's clear that, like, a lot has gotten lost about who these characters are. If I cannot, like, because obviously, like, the actors aren't gonna be the same, but there's more to a character
Yeah.
than just an actor. Especially if you do, like, younger versions or something like that. But, I still have to believe it is this character and not just, um, someone wearing a curtain. Yeah. Well, apparently, I have my work cut out for me. I'm apparently gonna do character studies and then redraw these
Yeah.
clothes.
I meanwhile have just reinvented Cousin It as a dwarf.
I love him. Just a little ball of fur. Not even fur, just hair. It's beard hair.
This is a big beard. This is a big hat.
Big beard, big hair, just everything.
I don't know what they're called, but
I don't either. I can think of dwarf names. I can't even think of regular names.
last time I thought of a dwarf name was for a fantasy sitcom I attempted to write. I wrote one good episode and then had no other ideas. But there was a dwarf in that called Boff, son of Boff.
I love
And that's
that.
Boff with one F, son of Boff with two Fs, who was son of Boff with three Fs, and it sort of carried on going back.
Oh my god, yes.
This is like talking about great sort of grandfathers. I'm the son of Boff, and just sort of
Buff.
Boff. Just there for like 5 minutes.
And then eventually you get Bo. Bo,
Yeah,
son of Buff, son of Buff.
then it starts going back up again.
I love these little paintings you're doing, Christi. They're so good.
Yeah.
Yep. I only know how to copy.
Yeah. Same.
Incorrect on both counts. If you only knew how to copy, you wouldn't make such nice things during the wiki draws and such.
Nice things like I don't remember anything I've ever done during
well.
wiki draws.
I have all the files. I will bring them up and prove you wrong.
I was gonna give an example and then I just realized I don't remember.
The only thing I can think of is Garfield, and we did that together. So
Yeah, that was also gonna be like Garfield, but that was not a wiki draws, and also we did that together, so I can't really give that as an example.
yeah.
So, what have we learned?
The creativity in TV and film is dead.
Yes.
And that we now have a nice piece of terminology for the leitmotif of costume and lighting, which has been invented just after the death of it. So it's purely retrospective. Yeah. The purely retrospective terminology.
We also learned that Christi is still amazing at painting.
I know.
And that Chris's drawings are very fun. They are very fun. Look at that good Em. I love her.
I like how neither of us likes to take compliments.
No compliments.
All the compliments. You both have made great art today.
And you've made very good points analysising.
I just rambled for 2 hours.
It was interesting.
Yay!
Interesting and informative. You talked about things I would not have thought about myself. I'm learning.
You told me who Galadriel was.
Galadriel's a spooky one.
Yeah.
Emphasis on was spooky.
Was, yes. No more. Now she is just a woman in some armor. Some nice armor, but just, you know, some armor.
I guess that fits with the writing thing that I was talking about earlier. Of like, you know, I always like to write about things on the fringes of what would normally be, you know. Everyone else would write about the war, and I would write about the people who were cooking for the soldiers or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's what that fantasy sitcom. I just remember that's what that was about. It was about a fantasy hospital. Just like, this is a world full of magic and stuff, but magic backfires so frequently that they're like, do you know what? Maybe sometimes we should try and heal things without magic, and they just basically have to invent surgery from scratch. And like everyone else is like, we have magic. Why are you cutting people open?
I mean, yeah.
I thought that's a really good idea for a sort of a long-term recurring thing, because you can come up with like fantasy illnesses.
Yay.
It's like this person's hand turned into a tuba. Why? I don't know. It's fantasy.
It's magic. They did
And
it to themselves.
yeah, it's just a hospital for backfiring magic. I think the backstory of the main character was that they were in an adventuring party, and every other one of the wizard in their party, you know, rolled like 3 nat ones in a row, and just everyone died, and that's and that's why she set up the hospital. So it's like, screw magic.
Fair enough.
And then there was like a half hobbit, half elf who really, really wants to learn magic, but just can't. And so she basically invents like medicine, essentially. So I don't know, plants do things, right?
Yeah.
And then Boff, son of Boff, who's a nurse.
I can't get over Buff, son of Buff.
Boff, son of Boff.
It sounds so fun.
Shearsmith, the local butcher, the only person they could get to actually perform as surgery. Yeah, it was a good idea, just never went anywhere. As will this idea of the worst jobs in Middle Earth.
Hey, but it is an idea, and we've thrown it into the void, so now anyone can do it.
Yeah. We will accept 80% royalties.
This keeps looking like Cara Delevingne.
Keeps looking like who now?
Cara Delevingne.
Cara, who? Avril Lavigne? Cara Delevingne. Cool. I don't know who you are.
Now you know
I-
who this looks like.
It looks like somebody I don't know.
Wonderful.
Which is accurate to most illustrations, really. It looks like somebody I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we want to keep going with this or stop here or. This is the problem with not having a format. It's like, where do we stop? I don't know. We can carry on for
I've
another
just
hour.
been dating. Sorry, I haven't been looking at it.
No, I've just been doodling. Chibi's been lecturing.
Lecturing. Oh no.
I don't mean it as an insult. It's just like it's interesting. You're talking
Oh
about a
my
subject
God,
with a
look at
sense of
this
authority and knowledge,
Based
I've
on nothing.
out before.
based on experience. It's an experience and intuition and thought,
I
This
mean,
is
yeah,
good.
okay.
which is it's like a philosopher but useful.
Yeah. I mean, it's also like more than some people lectures are based upon
Yeah.
thought.
Actual thought. What? Yeah, I think it's one of those things where it's like, you know, they always say about these things everyone's a critic, but at the same time, the point of entertainment is it's supposed to be experienced, and thus everybody is entitled to talk about their experiences and try and extrapolate, you know, why they feel certain things about certain things. And yeah, ooh, he's just poking over the poking over the arm of that chair.
Sitting on his shoulder.
He's like, oops.
Also, how is this Shia LaBeouf now?
Is from the Shire and is LaBeouf.
He is LaBeouf. But yeah, I think that's a
Yeah.
good point. Like it is supposed to be entertainment, and as a result, like everyone can enjoy it for any number of reasons, and I can also enjoy it for the same amount of reasons, or no reason at all.
Yeah.
I have had plenty of instances where I just went no, and that was the end of that talk.
Yep.
But those are the things I don't discuss about. I just say no, and I
Yeah.
move on.
There's no point trying to, you know. I feel like if something didn't have like an element of connection or an element of like I don't know. I feel like if you're just sort of like viscerally that this ain't for me,
Yeah,
then there's nothing really to say. But
yeah.
it's something like this where you look at it and you're like, some, like
Yeah.
It's a product I should love, but there is something just very off about it.
yeah,
I'm trying to figure out why, just like based on these like, because this has just been like analyzing a bunch of screenshots essentially, like,
yeah,
and just like purely based on those screenshots, like, why doesn't this connect to like the part of my brain that loves Lord of the Rings so much? Because
yeah.
that's
I think
part of my brain.
it sort of it ties into that thing of like I won't complain about the things I love. I won't complain about the things I hate, but I will complain endlessly about the things that I want to love.
Yes, because
Exactly.
like again, I'm a little Lord of the Rings nerd, and I love reading fan fiction, and I want to explore these characters more. It's just like if you just genuinely told me like there's gonna be a Lord of the Rings series and Elrond is gonna be in it, I'd be like yes, and but like this is not it.
Yeah,
Like I want to see Elrond. It's just like this is not Elrond.
It's like me and The Witcher. I watch it because I have to, and I want to love it, but I also just really hate it.
Yeah, it's a weird thing.
I feel like I should join in with this way of doing things and actually get back around to watching the last few series of Doctor Who, because I know I'm not going to enjoy them.
Then don't.
I know I'm going to be watching them thinking, oh God, what have they done?
It's horrible. Don't.
But I must.
There are
Don't learn from
things.
friendship.
I already know what they've done to the Master and I don't like it.
There are things that you can and not should, but that you can watch or like read or whatever, and then be like, "That was awful. Let's move on." And there are other things that you just like you stop, and that's fine.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the good thing about Doctor Who. It's like they had an awful period of time, and now the show will completely change, and we'll forget that ever happened.
Yeah.
Doctor Who's an anthology show. It's
Yeah,
great.
that's you can do that with Doctor Who. You can't do that with literally anything else, can you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Doctor Who's essentially like a cross between a long-running series and an anthology show. It completely changes the cast every few years.
Yeah.
And there's a nominal character who's apparently the same person every time, but their personality changes completely. So,
And anything can be canon until it's not.
yes, that's the great thing about Doctor Who. We can just change the story completely. Time travel, wibbly wobbly.
There are no rules.
Should we do a stream like this
That's fine.
next week? We'll do this stream, but with Doctor Who.
Yes.
and I will complain.
Cool. I will draw things down, and you can talk because I have no
Yeah.
general knowledge. I've like watched a few episodes from fucking season 11, I think, or at least Doctor 11, Matt Smith.
Oh right, yeah, not season season
I don't
11,
remember. I don't know what
or
season
series
that
11.
series-
Sorry, it's just with Doctor Who. They refer to the classic series with sort of pre-Eccleston. They refer to those as seasons, but the modern ones as
yeah.
series. I
See,
don't know
that's my knowledge.
But yeah, the Matt Smith ones were series 6 to something.
Yeah,
No,
Doctor
5?
11 at least. So, lanky boy Matt Smith.
5, 6, and 7. Pretty sure that was Matt Smith.
Only a couple of episodes from that. A couple of episodes from. Fuck is the actor's name? The older man.
Capaldi.
Yes.
Peter
And
Capaldi. My favorite.
But it's like a few, like a handful of episodes that I walked into. Like,
Thing is, that's kind of the fun thing about Doctor Who is you could just do that.
yeah.
Most episodes have no connection to any other episodes. My favorite episodes have no connection to anything else. Like there is my absolute favorite episode of Doctor Who, which is also my favorite thing I've ever seen on TV. Well, joint, so favorite. Is to all intents and purposes a big turning point in the story of the series as a whole, but I absolutely maintain the fact that you can watch it with no context and enjoy it just as much as I did. And that's Doctor Who in a nutshell. That's when it's fun. It's an anthology show. It's just stupid adventures in space.
Yeah.
You know?
Stupid adventures in space, indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was the time when I was it was the time when I watched Rosa Parks being ushered off a bus in incredibly racist 19 whatever's America to the sound of a warbly modern ballad that I gave up. It's like, this isn't fun adventures in space anymore. I'm just angry at racists. This is not why I watched this show.
Yeah.
I'm angry at racists and the producers who chose this song.
Yeah. I can imagine.
This episode didn't have a story. Sorry, we're not complaining about this yet.
Yeah, next. Save it all for next week. Write down some points. Save it for next week.
Next week, God, I watched 3 episodes of that series and it just got so bad so quick. I had high hopes. The first episode was good, but I'll stop now.
Yeah, next week.
Even though the villain was covered in teeth.
Next
week. spoons. Right. Well, thank you for thanks for doodling and chatting and doing stuff. This was a different sort of stream. It was
Very different.
much more sort of informal doodle times.
Didn't expect to talk this much, but
hey, when Ragdoll's away, we do stuff.
we do stuff. We certainly do stuff.
Good sentencing.
When Ragdoll's away, the format will sway. We'll go with that.
Good comeback.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you can call it good if I have to, finish it, pause, and then say, this is what I should have said. It's really good. Thanks for being here, Kira. I hope you're enjoying Bioshock.
Hope you had a good time, Kira.
Yeah. I'll be back on Tuesday with more Mugus. Noodle Gear Solid.
Noodle Gear Solid.
Noodle Gear Solid. Yeah. And then Wednesday's the draw through, and Saturday's the not Wildermyth. We need to work out what we're going to do then. Either other multiplayer things or more Metal Gear. Don't know. You're almost done with the game. I was going to say, you're not far away. If you went from the helmets, there's not a huge amount after that, as far as I know. A lot of gameplay, not a lot of story. Well, the final cutscene, which I guess is going to take probably an entire stream to go through. So that's going to be fun, and Chibi's going to be mad.
Oh, great! I love that.
You're just he doesn't row.
I still don't know what that means.
He doesn't row. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
So yeah, thanks for coming along. Hope everybody has a lovely week. Because apparently it's Sunday. I don't know where that weekend went.
No idea.
No idea.
Good week.
Close combat, wide open, frenetic combat you mentioned was you making your way onto a certain ship. Yeah. That's a sequence. Yeah, I forgot you had to work your way up it. Yeah. That's... I won't discuss any of that, because it's all just gameplay, so... But it takes a while. Weekend went by too fast, I know. Now I've got to do work for my boss, who's horrible, and me. It makes me do things like draw.
Oh no.
Yeah. I'm going to end the stream now. Sorry, this has gone on too long.
Yeah,
Have
goodbye.
a lovely week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.